Welcome back to the Black Star video. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about cryptocurrency class 102. Let's get it. This is class 102. We're going to talk about cryptocurrency, crypto assets, give you a bit of an idea of what they are. My name is Rich, and I'm going to be your instructor or your educator in this information right now, giving you a better understanding of what crypto is all about. We're going to relate it to currency, money, how the government works with money, how we control with it, and how cryptocurrency can change your life by you being in more control of your finances. So let's talk about it. Let's get it. Class 102. All right, so let's start off by trying to understand what cryptocurrency is. And we got this short explanation right here, and let's get right into it. Cryptocurrency is a form of digital or virtual currency that uses cryptography to secure transactions. It does not have a central issuing or regulatory authority, instead using a decentralized system to record transactions and issues new units of cryptocurrencies, and often based on blockchain technology, which makes it nearly impossible to counterfeit or double spend. This is very important because it gives 1000% a sense of security that no one can take your funds because the cryptography is so secure. On two, no one can mimic your funds and double spend it. So if you try to spend it, someone else tries to spend on the same transaction, doesn't happen, right? You may see that sometime in credit card fraud and other instances, but not with crypto. So let's get into a deeper dive on what cryptocurrency is. So let's get into it and what cryptocurrency is and what it does. Cryptocurrency, sometimes called cryptocurrency or crypto, is any form of currency that exists digitally or virtually and uses cryptography to secure transactions. Cryptocurrencies don't have a central issuing regulatory authority, instead using a decentralized system to record transactions. We already said that. So cryptocurrency, as we get into the definition of currency later on, I'm not too sure we can actually call it currency because there's not too many options to pay for it, especially in the US, for debt and or services or products, right? That's not what's happening right now. So I'm going to really refrain from calling it a currency and actually call it an asset. Can it be understood to be a currency? It can be. Is it legally a currency at this current stage? It's not, right? It's not fiat. It's not tangible. This is a new era. And we need some legislation and regulation and laws to put in place to make sure that it can be classified as a currency. So as it stands, it can be understood to be a currency. It is understood to be a currency, but right, legally it's not. It's not considered money. What is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is a digital payment system that doesn't rely on banks to verify transactions. It is a peer-to-peer system that can enable anyone, anywhere to send and receive payments. Instead of being physical money carried around and exchanged in the real world, cryptocurrency payments exist purely in digital entries to online databases describe specifically transactions. When you transfer cryptocurrency funds, the transactions are recorded on a public ledger. Cryptocurrency is stored in a digital wallet. So we'll get into wallets and stuff a little bit later on in the class, but right now let's just focus on what cryptocurrencies are. Cryptocurrency received its name because it uses encryption to verify transactions. This means advanced coding is involved in storing and transmitting cryptocurrency data between wallets and to public ledgers. The aim of encryption is to provide security and safety. The first cryptocurrency was Bitcoin, which was founded in 2009 and remains the best known today. Much of the interest in cryptocurrency is traded for profit, with speculators at times driving the prices skywards, meaning that traders and speculators, some people are holding really tight, and then some people are dumping really fast, and that makes it so volatile. And it's also because the ecosystem is so small. But in sum, cryptocurrency is stored in the public ledger and is secured by an encryption called cryptography. And there's different types of encryptions that are running right now. I believe that Bitcoin is using SHA-256 as an encryption source, and that is a very secure and specific cryptography encoding that secures the blockchain. As these devices or computers that we're going to call nodes secure the blockchain, they store the information in what's called blocks, and they're all linked together, making it a blockchain. And I went over that in another video in class 101, but that's how it really works. You send your Bitcoin or cryptocurrency to John. It goes through the transaction from your server or your computer, your wallet, over to John. It gets stored through these nodes. Once they receive a block, into that block, that transaction is stored, and it's permanent, right? It can never be erased. It's immutable, meaning it can never be deleted. And that's how cryptocurrency kind of works to a small degree. So let's get into the next subject and what I just left off. How does it work? Cryptocurrencies run on a distributed public ledger called blockchain, a record of all transactions updated and held by currency holders. The transactions are actually held on a ledger, which is public and is stored there by these nodes. And each node works in consensus with one another to make sure that all the ledgers are working in unison, so that way nothing can be fraudulent and everything is working as one, right? So each database from node to node, computer from computer, is actually checking to make sure that we are being legit and everything is being fairly done, and no one is out of the rhythm. No one has a transaction that is improperly recorded, and if one transaction is improperly recorded, then it rejects it and it doesn't recognize it at all. So let's continue. Units of cryptocurrency are created through a process called mining, which involves using computer power to solve complicated mathematical problems that generates coins. Users can also buy cryptocurrencies from brokers, then store and spend them using cryptographic wallets. You just don't only get the coins from the mathematical equations, that the transactions are stored on that block as well. And for making or figuring out the code to release this block and storing the transaction on it, then you're rewarded coins or portions of coins, because you won't get the whole thing. There's so many computers actually right now trying to figure out one mathematical equation, makes it impossible for one PC to actually get the reward of processing the transaction. If you own cryptocurrency, you don't own anything tangible. What you own is a key that allows you to move a record or a unit of measure from one person to another without a trusted third party. So let's break it down. So you own Bitcoin. You're actually holding what is assumed to be some data that represents or is identified as a coin. And you can send that to a person, store it in another wallet, or to an exchange to later be dealt with as you wish. And because you can do this without anyone's permission, you don't need a third party. So for instance, let's say you have your money in the bank. You go to the bank and you go, I need to withdraw $100. You have to ask the teller, you got to sign a receipt, they got to verify who you are, and then the money comes to you. Or you want to send a wire or send a transaction or transfer money from one account to another, you need a third party to do that. You can't do it on your own. With cryptocurrency, you have the option to do this on your own without any other third party telling you you can or cannot, or the authorization to do so. You do this all on your own with no one governing you but yourself. And on top of that, no one can stop you from doing it because you're self-governed. You're your only person involved. You're your own bank at this point. Although Bitcoin has been around since 2009, cryptocurrencies and applications of blockchain technology are still emerging in financial terms, and more use are expected in the future. Transactions including bonds, stocks, and other financial assets could eventually be traded using this technology. Again, cryptocurrency, due to what we're going to get into later on in the class, smart contracts, talking about Ethereum and blockchains just like it, give these options. Right now, Bitcoin doesn't give that option. It's singular in its nature, and Bitcoin is considered a store of value. We're going to talk about that too in a later video. The different types of crypto are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Each one represents something different. Bitcoin is a store of value, the mother of all cryptocurrencies. Ethereum is the mother of smart contracts. It brought itself from Bitcoin and they wanted to advance it. So Ethereum is the second most largest market cap in this ecosystem right now. Then you have Litecoin, which is a faster version of Bitcoin, and it does the same thing. It's a fork and a copy of Bitcoin, and it's very similar. However, all of the coins in itself are somewhat in some form and or shape a copy of Bitcoin. Some are completely redesigned, but the basis of them are based off of Bitcoin. And we have Ripple. Ripple is a coin that was designed, or its sole purpose was to be a faster form of sending transactions from bank to bank to and from any area in a faster pace. Right now, the legacy network that's involved takes hours and or days, and there's cutoff times on when they send or can send payments via wire transfer to another person and or entity. Ripple was designated to stop that and make things a lot faster and a lot more seamless and also more cost effective. So the only way to obtain cryptocurrency right now is to buy them through what's called exchanges, right? And exchanges is like, just like your stock market. One person and or the exchange is selling a coin at a certain price, and then you're on the other end, you're either willing to buy it at that price or at a lower price, hoping either the price falls to where you want to buy it at versus where it's currently trading at right now. And we'll get into that at a later date. There's also options to buy if you have huge volume of that you want to buy for a brokerage or what have you. You can do that. You can also buy it from person to person if you find those meetings of exchanges out there versus going through an actual exchange. An exchange, you're going to have to KYC, know your customer, give them your ID, your date of birth, your firstborn, and everything else to get that done. They need to know who you are as the law. Then in later videos, we'll also get into how to store cryptocurrencies, hot wallets, and cold wallets. So a hot wallet is something that's connected to the internet at all times, and a cold wallet is using a hardware device. That way is 10 times more secure than using a hot wallet, which can be hacked, but they need to understand what your spend password is, and it's possible to still hack that, especially if you're connected to the internet and someone hacks into your PC and put a data log in there and so forth. You want to be careful when you're dealing with the internet and your wallet, your assets that have value. So what can you buy with cryptocurrency? Right now, it is very limited. There are some major players that are allowing you to do some type of payments with it, buy cars and houses, luxury goods. It is possible, but it's not a trend at this time. So it's very limited on what you can do with cryptocurrency other than peer-to-peer, hoping that it goes up in value and then make a profit and go from there. Now, there's tons of cryptocurrency fraud activity or fraudulent activity that's going on the internet right now, where people are actually trying to get you or convince you to do certain actions and or activities, or trick you into doing something to get your funds, your crypto assets, your value from you to them. So you need to be very careful on what you do, how you do it, and protect yourself at all times. Everything that's too good to be true is too good to be true. So be safe. So is cryptocurrency safe? 1,000,000% is definitely 100% safe. The only unsafe factor is you. You need to make sure that you do everything that's in your power to make sure nothing happens to your assets. The same way you protect your debit card and your bank account, your keys to your house, the keys to your car, your most valuable objects or things you hold precious, keep them or keep it just as safe as you keep them, and you wouldn't have any problems. All right, they list 4 major tips on investing in cryptocurrency. I don't give financial advice, so I'm not going to reiterate these tips. They are there for you to read. You can read them if you want, but that's not my cup of tea. I'm here to try and educate you on what this is, not how to invest and profit off of it. So although this doesn't really have to do with cryptocurrency or no assets, I want to give you a better understanding of what currency is, and then we're going to talk a little bit about money, and then you'll have a better grasp of what this is already about. What is currency? Currency is a medium of exchange for goods and services. In short, it's money in the form of paper or coins, usually issued by a government or generally accepted at its face value as a method of payment. Currency is a primary medium of exchange in the modern world, having long ago replaced bartering as a means of trading goods and services. In the 21st century, a new form of currency has entered the vocabulary and realm of exchange. The virtual currency, also known as cryptocurrency. Virtual currencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum have no physical form or government backing in the United States. They are traded and stored electronically. So although Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything like it does not have a physical form, they are understood to be currencies at this time, but not legally, right? They're not normally accepted and bartered for services and or goods, but they are accepted in a form as a form of payment by certain parties, and right now that party is actually growing more and more every day. So it's starting to be understood as a currency, but not legally at this point because it's not backed by a government at this time. Understanding currency. Currency in some form has been in use for at least 3,000 years. At one time only in the form of coins. Currency proved to be crucial to facilitating trade across continents. A key characteristic of modern currency is that it is worthless in itself, that its bills are pieces of paper rather than coins made of gold, silver, and bronze. The concept of using paper as a currency may have been developed in China as early as 1000 BC, but acceptance of pieces of paper in return for something of real value took a long time to catch on. Modern currencies are issued on paper in various denominations with fractional issues in the sum of coins. So in short, they were saying that currency has been around for a very long time. China may have developed the idea of using money to barter for services and or goods, and it took a long time to catch on to, as will Bitcoin. It's going to take a little time to catch on to, but it is here to stay. It will be the new currency. Again, it is understood, but not yet legalized, and we're waiting for that. What does currency mean? The term currency refers to a tangible form of money that is a paper bill and coins. It is used as a medium of exchange that is accepted as face value for products and services as well as for savings and or payments of debt. Right? So right now, cryptocurrency is not a coin. It's not paper. It's not tangible. So technically, at this time, as defined, it can't be considered as currency legally, but it can be used as a payment for services and or debt and or goods. It can be used for that. It also can be used to do savings and or loans. That is happening right now. So again, slowly but surely, virtual currency will make its way, or virtual assets will make its way into the currency market, into governments, local governments, and then mainstream, we gotcha. What is an example of currency? One example of currency is any of the US paper bills you may have on hand. It is any of the coins of US issues such as penny, nickel, and or quarter. Currency can also be paper bills and coins issued by governments of other countries across the globe. Again, currencies as it stands are issued by a government, and that is what circulates within that government as a source of value and is promissory by the government. And it has to be used, it has to be accepted by every establishment, by every industry, by anyone who performs a service. They have to accept that currency if we're talking about transferring value for service and or product. And they will want that because that is a system in which its whole ecosystem thrives on, right? So if I give you $5 to go do me a service, you can take that $5 and get services from somebody else and or buy a product. It could be food, it could be clothing, it could be non-essentials, whatever the case may be. What's the difference between money and currency? Money is an intangible system of value that provides a means of ongoing exchange of goods and services in a society. Money has taken many forms since its overtook of the system of bartering. Currency is a tangible form of it. So instead of, say, bartering agricultural produce for clothing you may need, you can use currency, paper notes, and coins to obtain it. So in essence, what they're saying is that money is an intangible source of value and currency is a tangible source of value. And if we go look up money, it might say something different. However, money is what's being used to pay for stuff. So is currency, but currency is denominated and or issued by a local government, but it is a system of value for bartering for goods and or services, and also to pay debts. So let's get on to looking at what money is and as it's defined. So let's see how money is defined. Fiat money is a government-issued currency that is not backed by a physical commodity, such as gold or silver, but rather by a government that issued it. The value of fiat money is derived from a relationship between supply and demand and stability of the issuing government, rather than the worth of a commodity backing it. Most modern paper currencies are fiat currencies, including the US dollar, the euro, and other major global currencies. Again, so money is definitely currency. Currency is definitely money. Money is not backed by a physical commodity. Currency, in a sense, is backed by something physical, but right now they're using paper. However, money is how it is organized. Currency is how it's delivered, if that makes sense. So by definition, it can be understood that money, crypto is money, but because it's not coming from a government, it's not legalized. So we need to consider it still an asset until our local governments define it as such. All right, let's look at some of the key takeaways. Fiat money is government-issued currency that is not backed by a commodity such as gold. Fiat money gives central banks greater control over economies because they can control how much money is printed. Most modern paper currencies, such as the US dollar, are fiat currencies. One danger of fiat money is that governments can print too much of it, resulting in hyperinflation. Meaning that if they put too much money into the system, it hyperinflates and devalues the dollars or the value of the money to a lower form, bringing a superinflation into it, meaning that you need more money to buy something in particular. Is kind of what the U.S. is experiencing right now, and that's why they're raising the interest rates, but that's for another story, not for right now. So why is fiat money valuable? In contrast to commodity-based money like gold coins or paper bills, redeemable for precious metals, fiat money is backed entirely by the full faith and trust in the government that issued it. One reason that it has merit is that governments demand that you pay taxes in fiat money it issues. Since everybody needs to pay taxes or else face stiff penalties or prison, people will accept it in exchange, known as chartalism. So let's look up chartalism. Chartalism is a monetary theory that defines money as a creation of the government that derives its value from its status as legal tender. It argues that money is valuable in use because government requires that you pay taxes on that money. Okay, so now we understand what chartalism is. Other theories of money, such as credit theory, suggest that since all money is a credit-debt relation, it does not matter if money is backed by anything to maintain its value. So anyone that is saying right now that crypto has no merit whatsoever they also mean that money has no merit. It's also under the same pretense, right? Its system is based off of supply and demand and the issuing party, because the issuing party doesn't take advantage of it. However, there isn't a tax-based system with crypto at this time, but it is in demand. Countries are taking advantage of it slowly but surely. If you think that crypto would not be adopted in the coming years, you need to think again. So interesting paragraph. What are some alternatives to fiat money? Virtually every country today has legal tender that is fiat money. While you can buy and sell gold and gold coins, these are rarely used in exchange or for everyday purchases and tend to be more of a collectible or a speculative asset. Cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoins have emerged over the past decade as a challenge to the inflationary nature of fiat currencies. But despite increased interest and adoption, these virtual assets do not seem to approach being money in the traditional sense. So because traditionally it's not backed by a government, it can't be money at this time, but it will be once it's legalized. There is going to be a system in place that understands crypto as money, especially stablecoins. We may see the US take over, denounce any other stablecoin that is representing itself as a US dollar other than what is governed by the US government. It is going to be a central bank digital currency, CBDC. That can happen. There's a good chance that it will happen. And we'll see how this tale untails. So I hope this class 102 with cryptocurrencies or crypto assets gave you a better idea of what crypto is really about and how it relates to money and or currency in general, and how it actually is not currency and or money, so to speak. And the main issue there is that it's not backed by any government. There's not a government right now except for Ecuador or El Salvador that's actually saying that it is legal tender, and it's only Bitcoin. And it's not every other cryptocurrency. I do believe in the coming years that will change. There's going to be some laws in place which are going to legalize Bitcoin in a different class. And it's going to be a new virtual form of currency. It's going to be hard to actually legally state that because it's so volatile and it doesn't have any true stability. It goes way up and it goes way down. So there's going to have to be some type of regulation of how it's traded, how it's not traded, and catch the bad actors when they do. So that way crypto is actually a little bit more stable than it is now. Of course, we'd all wanted to go to the moon and stay there, but that's not reality. So again, I hope that it gave you a better insight, and I hope you embrace cryptocurrencies and crypto assets for what they are, the future. If you like the content, please hit that like button. If you want to get notified every time I make a video, hit that bell, subscribe to the channel, support your boy, and let's help these videos get out to more people. Again, my name is Rich, class 102, cryptocurrency, crypto assets. I'm going to give you more very shortly and continue these classes until there is no more. Peace out. Black Star, light in the darkness.